Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name's John McDonald, and today we're going to make a simple arrangement that would be ideal as a gift or ideal in your home. And what we're going to use is we're going to use this nice ceramic vase. We've got some beautiful cymbidium orchids. I'm going to use a couple of canes as well. So these were just in the dried section. They're not really like a bamboo, they're a wee bit softer. We've got a couple of beautiful pistache anthuriums. I've got some nice gerbera, a little bit of solidago, and we've got a little bit of foliage as well. So what I've done is I've filled this with water, and as a mechanic, what I'm going to use is some of this really soft aluminium wire. Now this is brilliant stuff to have. You buy it in a roll, you'll get it in the craft shop. You can get different colours. If you're going to use it as a mechanic, then really you're not seeing the colour, so it doesn't matter that this is gold particularly. But all you do, take it off the roll, scrunch it up, and just make it into like a network, like a framework that you can use. Now, if you wanted, you could even just leave a little bit out that would act as a way of stopping it falling down the vase. But what we've essentially done is we've created a framework that we can use for making our design. So the first thing I want to do is pop in these. Now, my thought with this is that this is going to give us a nice strong line up at the top of our design. And really what I would like to do is create a little bit of interest. So we're going to take a little bit of the other one. Now I've got this paper covered wire. This actually comes from Oasis, bind wire. Essentially it's a thin wire that's covered in paper, and it's great for just binding things off, and because it has that wire in the centre, it's really easy to use. So let's just probably put on the glasses, is probably a good idea. It's as simple as that. You can just twist it, and because of that wire that's within it, it really holds it. So normally we think of using a tall piece of material that's going to be like a piece of greenery or a piece of flower, like a gladioli, something that takes your eye up, gives height to an arrangement, but it doesn't have to always be a flower. We can actually use something like this that we've created to make that piece, that little bit of interest. So I'm just leaving the ends at the moment. What we'll do is once we've got this made, we just cut them off. Now, I'm not making this in such a way that it's going to last forever or it's going to be particularly fancy. But you could pin it or glue it and bind it. You could use a colour twine. If you were gluing it, you could use like a wool. You could make a real feature piece of something like this. And if you spend a little bit of time doing it, then do it well, and then you'll have something that you can keep. So we can just take off these ends, just fold them down or fold them in. Maybe better if I turn it around, that would be easier. If you're using wires, just be careful that you don't have any protruding wire or end that's going to jab you, or especially if you're giving it as a gift. So now we can have a little look at this and decide, so do I want to change the shape of this? I quite like the fact that this one's a little bit wider, then it's got a nice shape actually, so we'll just work with it as it is. And The first thing I'm going to do then is add our foliage. So we've got some nice aspidistra. I like to turn over the ends and just thread through. I think that gives a really nice effect. And just putting them in like this is giving us a nice background for our design. I've got this palm, but it's not got the biggest stem, so as long as it's in water, that's fine. So realistically what we've done is we've created a triangle. We've got width at the bottom, we've got a little bit of visual weight at the bottom, but we've got height with our feature piece. So I think our first flower that we really want to put in will be our orchids. They're quite big, they're quite heavy, so it's better to put them in early on. And actually, the way that they are sitting, they're going to give it a little bit of a coverage to the front of this container as well, which is good. So, let's pop in our beautiful solidago. Now, I think I could do with one more piece. This piece I've got here though has got not the best shape. So one of the beauties of working with the wire as a mechanic for holding the flowers is that it really is going to just allow the flowers to basically be in water. So flowers are happiest when they're just in water. If you put them into any other kind of base like a foam or even a pin holder or a Kenzen, they're getting damaged or they're getting a slight restriction on how they can take up water. So from the point of view of what do they really want? They just want access to water that's really nice and clean, and they don't need much else. So just using this wire, it's quite easy to clean as well. So you can reuse it, you can clean it, and therefore it's very economical and it's very eco-friendly. So what we've got here then is we've created a grouping of orchids, a grouping of solidago within our structure. And what I need to do then is just see how best we're going to do this, because these are quite big. These are quite big. So I think we'll start with the Gerbera, and we'll go in, and we can actually use this structure a little bit as a support. You can see that these just are quite happy going into this base. They're getting all the support they need. The stems are not getting damaged. And the Gerbera is really giving us a good punch of colour. I'm going to put one to the back. I think sometimes it's quite interesting having a flower that you don't see fully, but you get a glimpse of. It takes your eye through. It gives the arrangement a certain amount of depth. But also, if this is facing a certain way and people are walking from the side, they're actually going to see that it's not just everything sitting at the front. It's going to be a little bit more sympathetic. So let's get our lovely big Anthurium in here. They can be a little bit hard to know how to place. Like, do we have it facing this way? Do I want to bring another one this way? You've got to really sometimes step back and decide. I quite like this contrast of the really shiny Anthurium, but with our spiky leaf. And I'm just going to add one more curled aspidistra to the back here. Everything's looking quite nice, but this little space here could do with just being finished. If you're able to bring a little bit of foliage just down over that edge, the edge can make it look like the container and the flowers are not connected. So by going over that edge with some material, just allows you to join the whole thing together. So essentially what we've got is we've got an interesting and slightly unusual arrangement that would be ideal for a gift, or this could go on a buffet table. It's got a lot of options. This would even look good on a counter for a business such as a hair salon. So a simple arrangement where the flowers are essentially in water, and it's very easy to keep the water just topped up and the flowers will be really happy. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have and you haven't already done so, you can click here to subscribe. We've got new designs every week and we would love to have you join us for our next design. Bye for now.